Hello and welcome to this week's tarot reading for all earth signs. I hope that this finds you well. I trust you use your own intuition as your primary instrument of resonance. Leave behind what does not reverberate. Tarot does not tell the future. The only thing that determines your future is how you react, reflect, and respond to the messages herein. This month's full moon is happening in the nakshatra of Uttara in the portion of Capricorn. Uttara is the pinnacle of solar energy, and in this we can come to understand that this is the part of the firmament where the godly forces have their final victory over the demonic forces. This is also why Uttara means later victory. It is quite a beautiful instance that we are experiencing a full moon in this nakshatra, as full moons represent the coming of an end, and in relation to oneself, that's solar energy, we can be confident that we are also having our own final victory over any malefic or damaging forces that aim to overshadow the ultimate truth and our vitality. We may be feeling a sigh of relief as we move away from this full moon and into the new moon, where we can recuperate and strive towards fortifying and tending to our victories in an expansive and creative way. As I stated on my Twitter, I have a few new oracle decks that I wish to share with you. The first being Supra, the hidden path of an oracle, and the second, the Materia Prima, a reflection on matter. And the first card that I have for you is Individuation. It is here, in this moment, that we must find ourselves by understanding our psyche and who we are. This vital search for the hidden core of our being is the most important act we will ever undertake, as not only will it lead us to our true life in this world, one that is gentle, in a gentle agreement with all life, but it will put us on the pathway to an extraordinary encounter with an temporal future. A place where you have always been, because it is just the place you had to be and what you will be for all of time. And if you think about it, why wouldn't you want to undertake this quest? Why wouldn't you want to become an absolute part of the universe? Inside you, that secret being has always existed. It has whispered its intuitive thoughts to you since your first breath and sustained you through your darkest hours. That voice has wisdom beyond any ancient philosophy. It is the wisdom of you, and it summons you to reach the ultimate height of your being, to pull the sword from the sorcerer's stone and claim your destiny. So there is that sense of fate and pilgrimage here, as I see a stone, a sword in a stone here. And one, again, must to make that pilgrimage to pull the sword from the stone, to have that courage, to have that strength, and to have that integrity to step up to the plate and to listen to that voice that, again, has always existed and it has always been with you and will always be with you. That is the thing. It will never go away. As much as you wish to silence it or you wish it to stop, it will never go away. And what happens when you do wish it to go away or you do try to silence it is that things start popping up on your path in order for you to listen to it again. You know, those challenges or those obstacles that we face are actually there for us to fall back on that intuitive voice. And that seems a little bit selfish of our higher selves, but, you know, sometimes we need to be pushed over the edge or pushed between a rock and a hard place so that we actually start listening to that voice instead of concerning ourselves with what everyone else thinks, what everyone else wants us to do, and those sorts of things. And we usually do. We usually do start listening to that inner voice because it's the only thing that perseveres. It's the only thing that we know to be true, because everything else can be manipulated, everything else can be illusionary, but that voice, like I said, has been with us from the dawn of time and it will always be with us, and there's nothing that we can do to stifle it so much as we try. The second card that we have is the number 9 on the periodic table, and it is Fluorine. Life awakens us from a deep slumber. We move towards it, enchanted by its mischievous savagery. What a mystery its power is, and how fascinating we find it. We want to grab hold of it, possess it, and fill our awakened consciousness with all of nature's wild and redolent potential. We want to take part of the never-ending hidden play of the cosmos, the constant renewal of revelations of worlds and beings. So great is our longing to hold this mighty gift, we often forget how dangerous this supreme life force can be in our fragile hands, and what a commanding advantage it has over us. For long with its potent growth energies, life travels on a razor's edge with death, locked in its weighty dance to a ruling force that masterfully walks the line between creation and destruction. It is wise not to hold on too tight or try to get too close. Our reward for spacious humility is a chance to encounter life's deepest truths, which has stood unchanged behind all things since time began. At that moment, we genuinely participate and enter into the wild heartbeat of our world. And how fitting that is to follow up with individuation, is that that is our reward. You know, through all of the wildness of this element, through all of the savagery, we come to realize that this is the supreme life force. And again, it does have that commanding advantage over us, but not really over us if we are in line with it. And that's where what it comes down to when we start to stifle or ignore that voice, is that we think that it has this command over us, but it's actually trying to work through us. And if we would just listen to it and dance with it, we find that it leads us to, that potential, and with that control with it, we are able to be rewarded through our endeavors and our self-control and our focus. And having that focus on that voice is what leads us to that, and what leads us to the realization that it doesn't have power over us, it has power through us. And I know I've said that, about 3 times now, but I really just want to hit that home, that these 2 cards are really working in harmony with each other to display that message. And the cards that I have here from the Rider-Waite deck are the 8 of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands reverse, the gold card. I have 2 cards in my deck that were blank, and I've embellished them with gold. I also have the 4 of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the 3 of Pentacles here. And there is a lot of Pentacle energy here. There's a lot of native energy to your signs here, Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And this is saying to me that you really need to work on your craft. You really need to sit within your being, the all-encompassing being of all elements. The earth element encompasses all of the others, and it is the most gross in that it is the most, not like icky gross, but like the most unrefined element in its entirety, but within it are all these little refined elements that you need to work on a little bit by a little bit and understand them in their individuation. Coming back around, you need to understand all of those elements that make up the greater element to be able to better work with them and not feel that lack of, which is what the 4 of Pentacles is showing to me in his upside down position. He just looks like he's really holding on to this false sense of who he is, and he's hanging upside down and he's holding on to that little pentacle, and with each tick of the clock, gravity is getting more and more and more, and eventually that pentacle will have to be released from his grip. And again, I see this as like a fighting with oneself with the 5 of Wands here, and or fighting with the outside world, fighting with all of these elements instead of just working on them and working in their potential and working on their uniqueness. And we also have another card here that indicates work or apprenticeship, the Three of Pentacles. And I just see, the more that you start to work on these elementals with the Eight of Pentacles here, you are able to then better communicate with other people with the Three of Pentacles, because there is this guy standing on the church pew or whatever it is, and he's talking to these noble people, and they're very interested in what he has to say. So the more that you take time away from the castle, the Eight of Pentacles here, you will refine and refine and refine to the point where people will actually come to you for guidance or come to you for knowledge. And that's because you have been able to work away from this distraction, which I think is what this five of wands is as well, is that this is just mass chaos, mass distraction that is just really pulling you away from understanding yourself, from understanding your potential and all of the streams of potential within you. And because you've been pulled away from yourself, you have that tendency to be cruel. You have that tendency to be intolerant of other people with the Knight of Wands here reverse. And that intolerance leads to intolerance of self, essentially. And you can no longer sit with yourself. You can no longer listen to that inner voice. You can no longer be comfortable with yourself, and that just starts to spread into your outer world, and you just become intolerant of everything to the point where you just don't understand where you can go or what you can do to self-soothe, or to find that sense of relief. But I feel as though that relief comes from working on all these little elementals within inside of yourself, and getting away from the noise and the chaos around you. And again, just thinking back to Fluorine, locked in this weighty dance with a ruling force that masterfully walks the line between creation and destruction, it is not wise to hold on too tight or try to get too close. And I feel as though, concerning yourself with these conflicts that you are having is getting too close to that, in that you're getting too close to destruction and not close enough to anything productive. And just taking that step back allows you to see the bigger picture. Taking that step back allows you to have that objectivity. And I feel as though that's what the Eight of Pentacles is as well. He's not near the castle. He's away from the castle, and he's working on his craft. And all of those pentacles, he has the one that he's working on, but then he has all the other ones kind of lined up on the wall, so that he can actually step back from them and see them, together. He can see them in that objective state. They're not all right in front of him that he's working on. He's not working on everything all at once, if you know what I mean. Like, he's got the thing that he's focused on, and then he has all of those other pentacles hanging up that may be complete, maybe not complete, maybe they're waiting to be even worked on in the first place, but they're all hanging up in an objective sort of viewpoint. And again, the Three of Pentacles shows this as well. They're not really up close with these pentacles. They're kind of looking at them from a way back, and just being able to have that objective point of view, I feel, will be really beneficial this week as you learn to understand again, so that you can really start to unpack your intolerance. You can really start to unpack what are all the little things that are making you react in these certain ways. All these different elements. Is there too much air? Are people being too fickle? Is there too much fire? Are people just being too inflammatory? Are people just being too angry around you, and you're being too angry, or are you being too fickle? What are all these little elements that are making up the whole of the situation? I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for listening. Bye.